The woman passed out at an altitude of 10,000 meters. As her body fell faster and faster, she suddenly woke up, but it was already too late. When she opened her eyes again, she realized she was hanging upside down in the air. She shouted for help, but her teammate had already lost consciousness. She started swinging her legs. As she got closer to the basket, she kicked herself away. Using the force of the swing, she finally landed inside the basket. Just moments before, a hot air balloon had risen to 13,000 meters. This caused the vent pipe to freeze. If they kept going up, they would die. They had to open the pipe to go down. The woman decided to climb up to release the gas. When she reached the edge of the balloon, she saw that the top was still very far away. Her hands were already frozen, and she almost fell. She also felt very sleepy due to a lack of oxygen. But thinking of her unconscious teammate, she forced herself to stay awake and kept climbing. When she finally reached the top of the balloon, she found the ice was too thick to break. She slowly stood up and stomped her feet. Luckily, the vent finally opened. To stop it from freezing again, she cut her shoelaces and used her shoe to jam the valve. At last, the balloon began to descend. When she returned to the basket, she managed to wake up her teammate. But then she noticed something strange. The falling snowflakes were moving slower and slower, until they stopped in midair. It turned out that the balloon was falling faster than the snow. The woman pulled the rope to shake off the shoe, but by accident, she tore the vent wide open. The balloon dropped even faster. To survive, they started throwing things out. In the end, they even threw away their clothes, but it had almost no effect. At that moment, the man suddenly realized that the basket was the heaviest item, so he told the woman to climb onto the metal ring, while he slowly cut the ropes one by one. Still, the balloon kept falling faster. In a moment of despair, the woman jumped out. She gave up her chance to survive so the man with the weather data could live. The man shouted and tried to stop her. Just then, he had an idea. If he cut the ropes that held the balloon's shape, it could turn into a parachute.
It's all gonna work! It will work! I'm not returning alone, it's either both of us or neither of us!
He started cutting the inner ropes one by one. The balloon opened up like a jellyfish. They finally began to slow down. The two of them laughed with joy, then dropped fast into the forest. They stood up, helped each other, and walked home in the fading light. That trip broke the world record for the highest human flight at the time. The man shared the weather data, helping to advance weather forecasting. Not long after, the two of them bought a new hot air balloon and began another adventure.